All right, so everybody, welcome to our Fit Family Network team call. Tonight is, what is it, January or June? I'm thinking about January already. It's June 13th, and we are excited to have everybody on the call tonight. And tonight's topic is going to be about recruiting. And that's one of those words that sometimes scares people away when they're talking about their Beachbody business, but it's not scary at all. And when I talk to my personally sponsored coaches and some of the other coaches, in our team that I help, work with and mentor, I find that, recruiting coaches that actually want to do the business aspect of the business is something that I think a lot of people struggle with. And I think part of the struggle is because you're just not giving it as much attention as you may do other aspects of the business. So I thought it would be appropriate to just kind of do a few things on this topic. Before we get started with that aspect of the call, I just had a few announcements I wanted to do. The first thing is I hope all of you guys have checked out our new team shirts. I am so excited about them because every other team has team shirts and they've gone through 4 different editions of their team shirts already. They've had one for this event and then they had one for their winter summit and all this stuff. And honestly, for me, one of the biggest holdbacks was the whole shipping issue. Our team is spread out over the entire country. And if I had more of a local team, I could see that I probably would have done it a lot sooner. But the shipping aspect really scared me because I just did not see myself labeling out a whole bunch of envelopes and shipping. It just seemed like a disaster. So anyways, through Jenna and Healthy for Life, they had found somebody that was doing a great job, and I worked with him. And then I found out that he would handle the shipping for me. So I was like, yay. And so I'm excited to finally have our very first edition. So everybody who is on this call or part of our team right now, you guys have the privilege of getting our first edition Fit Family Network team shirts. And I really love the way that the design came out specific for our summit theme this year, but also something that you can wear that. It doesn't advertise summit, so it still makes sense. Stronger every day. That's something that applies every day, obviously, not just an event t-shirt. So I also made sure to have the back updated with the logos that I think most of us promote and run challenge groups for the most, like 21 Day Fix, PIO, Size, Country Heat, Shakeology. I don't think it says Beachbody on Demand, but it just says Beachbody, I think. So anyways, there's just one for the female, one for males. And if you click through on the link in the team page, you can see the actual fit for the guys t-shirt. It's more of an athletic style. And then the girls is kind of one of those flowy-ish racerback tank tops. So only for this first one, we're only just doing the one color. So it's just gray for the female and then a black shirt for the guys. So I'm super excited. I know a lot of you guys have already put your orders in, but make sure that you do that because the guy is leaving to go on a mission trip and I have to have this order in by the 17th. I don't physically have one in front of me yet, but Jenna said that they run a little on the bigger side. All right, so that's that. Second thing, I know that a bunch of you are participating in our 21 Day Fix Edition challenge that started today. I've already seen so many of you guys post your trackers for today, which is great. So high five to all of you. I was on a call before this one and I was sharing that I have mine printed out here. I just haven't filled it out and posted it yet, but I'll be doing that soon. So it's great to see everyone participating. If you haven't, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a video in our team page, and today is day 1, so you can still get started, but today would be the last day for you to get started. And I did secure something as another incentive to actually make it through for these full 21 days. The way it's working already is there will be a few sporadic giveaways for those that post their trackers. And then for people that post their trackers every day for the full 21 days, you get to be in a drawing for the performance line recover in the orange flavor. But also, so that's just going to be one person that wins that. Like if you actually post your thing every day, 21 days in a row, your name goes in a hat, I'll pick one, and that person will get the performance orange recover. But also, there is a guy at Beachbody Corporate that works with the Central region. His name is Joe Cadron or something like that. And he's really awesome. I've met him a few times. He was at Scotty's Siki event that I spoke at in February. And he works with the Star Diamond coaches in the Central region. And he's going to be doing an exclusive call or a Zoom chat with just the coaches that make it through for the 21 days. So that's going to be another incentive and goal for you guys to actually make it through the full 21 days so that you can be on that call. So this is a guy who is in corporate. And the reason why that's so valuable is because he's somebody that is working with these top coaches, Amy Silverman, Brandy Botts, and knows the ins and outs of what they're doing in their organizations. He talks to these people. He sees their stats. He knows how many coaches they're signing and how they're getting their coaches to hit Success Club. He knows all of those things. And that's why it's so cool anytime that you get to work with anybody from Beachbody Corporate. So I think that, of course, it was already worth it to be doing this challenge as it is, but this is just an extra cherry on top just to make sure that you're doing it and you don't skip any days, no rest days, just 21 days in a row, and you'll be able to have access to that call with Joe. So that was that. All right, so on to the call. The first thing I wanted to talk about, I don't have slides for tonight. I was just going to share some things about it. But the first thing I wanted to bring up is just kind of about how you're spending your time. Because with our business, when we're talking about recruiting, there's two different sides of your business. There is recruiting, and then there is team management. So once you actually sign up your first coach, you become the leader of a team, even if you have just one coach. And even if that coach has no desire or interest in the business, you still are the leader of a team at that point. So you have to split your time between recruiting new people for your business and for your challenge groups and building things for your team, whether it's trainings or just checking in with people, having one-on-one calls, having GSRs, doing Emerald push groups, running coach basics. All of those things kind of fall into that team management portion. So when you are, somebody that is maybe semi-new, not a diamond coach yet, but maybe you have 2, 3, or 4 coaches, it's kind of natural that you're going to stay more in that recruiting phase because you're still trying to hit Success Club every month and add coaches so that you can work up to diamond. However, coaches that hit diamond or even 1-star and 2-star, they kind of get a little bit into management mode because now they have a team. Now they're starting to earn a lot of money on team cycle bonus, and they think that that is where their time and attention should be put if you're starting to get, turn that corner to where you're making more money on your, team cycle bonuses. Bruno, hey. Bruno is very excited about this topic. So anyways, but that is a mistake. And it's pretty much a mistake almost every single diamond coach I know has made. So it's normal that you do it, but it's also great for you to recognize it and make that course adjustment. What I suggest, and what a lot of other top coach trainings I've done in the past have suggested, is having that ratio of about a 70-30 split with your time. So about 70% still working on your own business, your own recruiting, your own personal development, your own challenge groups, and then 30% on developing your team, whether it's running your coach basics or doing GSRs or an Emerald push group or whatever it is. So that's kind of how you should be splitting up your time. And it's different for everybody. I don't like to ever tell people to do something that I'm not personally doing. So in a perfect world, you would have business hours and you would have like an amount of time that you know that you're working your business each day. And then I could easily tell you how to do that equation of how much time 70% is and how much time 30% is. But I work random hours and random amounts of time, so I'm not going to preach for you to do something that I'm not doing. But if you do know how many hours that you're working, you can do that equation of the 70-30 and kind of work it down from there to how much time you're actually investing in each of those areas. So once you kind of do a little bit of an evaluation of where you are spending your time with your business, there is an app that I just learned about and that I'm excited to start using. It's called 30/30. And you can actually, it's a free app. I think it's for Apple and Android. And you can schedule, or it's basically like a timer. Like I've told you guys before, like if you're going to be doing Facebook messages, like set your timer for 30 minutes. And once the timer is over, you're done, move on to the next thing. Basically, it's like that, except a little fancier and gives you cute icons and stuff to use. So it just makes it a little more fun to use. So that is an app that I have been using, especially since I've been using this tracking sheet now. So when I'm going through and I'm doing these tasks, I am scheduling, okay, I'm only spending this much amount of time on this particular activity. Otherwise, you can go overboard. You can go into training land and spend 2 hours watching YouTube webinars. Is it a waste of time? No, but does it fit into the standards that you want to set for your business? You run your business. You don't let your business run you. So that's why it's great to just kind of set these timers and set those boundaries for yourself so you don't go overboard. Okay, so the next thing is we need to control the controllable. How many of us have ever been frustrated because we signed up a coach and we had all these high expectations for them, and we give them the training and we tell them this is what you do, and then you go to the coach online office and you go to the coach training academy and you talked about your goals and all these things, but then they just, they go to the island that I talk about a lot. And, you don't ever hear from them again, or you get excuses from them why they're not following through. It's easy to let yourself get run down with those kind of things, but that's why you just have to work on what you can control. And what you can control is your business. How many people you're talking to, how many people you're inviting, how many people you're adding to your contacts. So that's another reason why that 70-30 time split is important, because if you're spending that 70% is what you control. That 30% on working with your team, that involves other people. So you can't control that. So your social sphere, this is going to be like building your business with social media, Facebook, Instagram, those kind of things. So when you are working on that 70% of your time on your own business, and this goes really hand in hand with the tracker sheet that we're using, we're talking about how many people are you adding to your network each day. And it's been suggested, to add about 5 people every day. Those can be new people that you're following on Instagram, new friends that you've added on Facebook, friends, that have liked your like page on Facebook, YouTube subscribers, those kind of things. So 5 is kind of the norm across the board of somebody that's wanting to build their business. Somebody that's really wanting to push and run at a faster pace may want to kind of do about 10 new contacts a day. And when you're thinking about how many people you're adding, it's only going to turn out to be something if you start connecting and building a relationship with that person. So if you think of it long term, if you are adding, well, for easy math, let's just say that you do want to run a faster race and you want to start adding 10 people a day. 10 people a day times 30 days, that's 300 people that you just added to your network. How are you going to keep track of those people? I mean, Facebook Messenger can only, you're going to lose people in the cracks if you rely solely on Facebook Messenger to just kind of follow up and say like, where did I know this person from? Or what were we talking about? So, you have to implement some kind of a tracking strategy. There was just a post in the team page the other day. I forget who brought it up, but somebody was asking about Team Z, and I've not looked at it yet personally, but I've heard lots of great reviews about it. And I've heard that it's a great way that you can, schedule when to follow up with people and kind of keep track of where you're at in the forming process with that particular person. So I've heard great things about that. And then I've heard of another one called Google Streak, which is something to do with Google Chrome and works with your Gmail and helps you somehow with that. I'm not totally sure. Also, Tanya Griss had presented at Winter Summit about her index card method. So those of you that are pen and paper people, that's a great way. She just keeps think of an old school library card catalog. Basically, that's what she does. And she has an index card for everybody that she meets, even if it's just somebody that she had a very short conversation with from her like page. And, it didn't even go anywhere as far as goals or talking about Beachbody or anything. She still writes out an index card for that person, catalogs it in her little box, and then she always knows, once that person comes back around, she knows where they came from, who they are, and what they originally spoke about. So there's definitely some different things out there. I know there's lots of contact management systems. Some people use Excel even. So as long as you just find something and commit to it, that's really what it boils down to. If you have your contacts spread out on 3 different things, I know some people are over here, and then I have a list in a notebook of these people that I met on Instagram yesterday, and then also in my phone I took notes on these people that I followed. That's just going to be a mess. So, just choose something that you're going to commit to and just start. I'm sure you probably have contacts from well before, but just start today. Don't overwhelm yourself with thinking, how am I going to import all these people that I've talked to and messaged with for the past 2 years? It would be great if you could do that. But if you're not doing anything now, the best thing to do is just start. That's all you can do. So the sooner you start, the sooner that you build that habit and you get into that routine of doing that and having a way to follow up with people and keep track of people, the better off you're going to be. And you guys sometimes get my newsletter. I use a service called Constant Contact, and that's kind of how I've started building my list. If you guys do any of Shalene's trainings, she's always talking about email and how you have to get people's email address, and that's you got to build your list, and she's always talking about that. So that's something I've been doing is I have Constant Contact. I bought the paid subscription for it, and it's really helping me to build that. And I think you have skin in the game with that one because you have to pay for it. So for me, I am using it. I am having my police wife people sign up to get my newsletter and all that stuff. And so it's helping me to build that list in case anything ever happens with Facebook or whatever. So that's one thing that you do have to, this is a business. We have to treat it as such. So, make sure that you're treating your contacts as gold. All right. So you have all these people. Now, what are you going to do with them? You've got to invite them. A lot of people tell me, oh, I don't have anybody that wants to do the business, and, nobody wants to be a coach and all these things, but are you inviting them? Are you actually posting about the business opportunity in the first place? And also, are you doing personal invites to the business as you would with a challenge group? And I know for some people it feels a little awkward, especially if you're a newer coach or you don't feel that you're at a level of success yet where you can talk to other people about it because you feel like maybe you haven't proven that this is a good thing yet. But I think that it's really great. I think it's great both ways. I think it's great when you're a new coach and you can say hey, I'm doing this thing. I think it would be awesome for you to join this with me. We can do this together. That's kind of how I got my first wave of coaches. I was I really don't know what I'm doing, but I just think it would be really cool for us to do it together. It was probably a little more wordy than that, but that was the basis of it. I didn't like send them the policy and procedures and everything in my first message or anything, but that was kind of how I got the ball rolling. And then now, like, as I've built some more success, I do post about the opportunity. I should post about it more, but I do post things that are like, I want to pay it forward. This opportunity has changed my life. And I guess what I really want to emphasize to you guys is when you say like this opportunity has changed my life, you don't have to wait until you've paid off your mortgage or you've, paid off a crazy amount of student loans, or you've left your job, or you're in the millionaires club. You don't have to wait for those gigantic milestones. You can start now. You can start by saying, like, this has changed my family's life because I don't have to stress about going to the grocery store anymore. This has changed my family's life because now, like, my husband doesn't have to work as many overtime hours. So, we have to remember that a lot of people are not in the same position of where you are or where you were. Like, everybody is different. So there's probably some aspect of your story that you're probably overlooking that can be so inspiring to other people that maybe shared a similar struggle as you and don't speak up about it. So, you have to share those things. To me, talking about like wanting to get my nails done sounded so ridiculous and meaningless. But, when I told Scotty that, and I used to not ever bring it up, and he was like, no, that is what you should tell people, that you wanted to get your nails done. And I'm like, that sounds so like pathetic and cheesy. But there are so many people that would love to just have that extra $40 to, well, first of all, to have the $40, and second of all, to be able to use it and not feel guilty about it and not like hope that it didn't cross at the same time that a check cleared out of their account and put them in the overdraft. So, and that's the position I used to be in. So we have to remember that everyone's in a different spot. So don't pass over aspects of your story that you think are just not anything. So we all went through our story and built our stories, for a reason. God puts us through trials and things like that to help, so that we're built up to help other people. So make sure that you're using those. Okay, let's see. All right, so don't let the no's bog you down. And I know sometimes it would be nice if you actually did get a no instead of a cricket. But when somebody does tell you, no, that's not really for me, I would never be able to do what you do. Here's the thing. Like, let's just say that you reached out to somebody that, is doing 21-day fix. Maybe she's in your challenge group, or maybe it's somebody that you just know who's doing that program or on a fitness journey or whatever. And then you invite them because you're doing your checklist and it's part of your daily thing that you invite to the coaching opportunity. So you say like, hey, Janet, I'm so inspired by you. I really think that you would be a great coach. Your posts are so funny. Your fitness posts are so inspiring, and you've lost 20 pounds. I know that you would be so inspirational to so many other women out there that you would be able to help. Have you ever considered doing what I do? I would love to have you as part of our family. She may say, oh, no, I would never do one of those things. Like, I could never be one of those people, or, whatever. But the thing is, even though she said no, or just kind of brushed you off, still that seed is planted. She's still going to go to bed that night and be like, I can't believe that, Lori reached out to me and said I was a good coach. That's interesting. Like, I wonder what that coaching thing actually is anyways. I don't even know what it is. And, it's going to start churning in their head. Like, you planted that seed, and they're going to start, even though they may have said no, it's still in their minds, and they're going to process it a little bit more. So just because somebody says no doesn't mean that you write them off altogether. You still continue to follow up with that person and build that relationship. And then when the timing is right, they'll come around if it's meant to be. So great. Okay. One other thing about follow-ups, we all hear fortunes in the follow-up. I think that there is some actual like kiss or sorry, I can't think of the word. There's a study that says with Beachbody specifically, most coaches that are successful in Beachbody, it took them 4 to 5 exposures or invites before they signed up. So I know for me, I can go back and think about people that I invited and that they said no. And I never followed up or checked back with them ever again. And then sometimes I'll see them in my news feeds as a coach and I'm like, what the heck? Like I talked to that person like a year ago and now they're signed up, or like I'll see them signed up with It Works or something. And then that really pisses me off. But I'll see them signed up with a different team and I'm like I let that person slip through the cracks because, they told me no, and I never followed back up specifically about coaching. But obviously, like somebody else talked to them or they were re-invited, re-exposed, and it was just a better time in their life, right? At that time for them to decide to join and, to take that leap of faith. So just remember, it takes people 4 to 5 times. And if you think back to your own history, maybe not with Beachbody, but just a product in general, like think about times that you wanted to invest in something for yourself. Maybe it was like a high-end skincare product. That's one example I share a lot. I think for me, I relate to it because like I always struggled with like acne. And then once that finally got out of my system, thanks to Shakeology, I still had like post-acne scarring. And so there's not many products on the market that actually do help with that. And everything that is like at least $80 to $150. So like there were so many times that I would look at products like from Lancome or like different facial treatments you can get done at a Medi Spa, and I would call and ask about it. Oh, it's $120. Okay, no thanks. And I would hang up. Did I want it? Yes. Did I say no? Yes, because I just wasn't ready to make that investment. So there's people that you're going to talk to, they want to do it, but they're just not ready to commit. So we've all been there. And those are also great posts to make too, just kind of talking about times that you've, said no, because people like to know other things that, like other things that maybe you wanted to do that you didn't, go full force on and that you waited on, and that, what were your objections? And maybe you had objections with Beachbody too. Like think about your own experience. Did you sign up the first time you heard about it? Like the first time you heard about 21 Day Fix or Shakeology, were you like, hey, sign me up, here's my card? Or did it take a couple times? Were you stalking your coach for a year before you were like, all right, they're legit, I'm going to sign on, So remember your own personal experience with how long it took you to, be ready to sign up. All right. Okay, last thing I want to talk about is one of John Maxwell's laws. It's not in his 15 laws, but he has a lot more laws than the 15 apparently. But this one is the law of the lid. And basically it's just kind of like a speed of the leader, speed of the pack type thing where you can't be, or your team's not going to be doing anything that you're not doing. And you're kind of the one that's setting the bar and setting, the lid on your team. So I've talked about this before on other calls, like, related to Success Club or things like that. But basically, one of the reasons why it's super important to get your 70-30 ratio in check is because that's going to be what your team is going to do. So if you are continuing to grow your business by continuing to recruit for challenge groups and recruit for the business, that's what your team is going to follow through and do on their end. So if you build a team of people that are micromanaging their team, then you're probably not going to see a lot of growth. If you are recruiting and continuing to add new coaches, new challengers to your team every single month, your coaches are going to follow suit and say, oh, look, I see that, Carissa is adding coaches. I see a new coach in my downline today. So they're going to say, that's what I should be doing. And they will continue to follow suit and they'll do that too. And that's where you're going to see that team growth start to happen in your volume and in your team cycles and things like that. So, what you do, it's just the same thing as like having kids. You may not they don't do what you tell them to do. They do what they see you doing. So same thing with having a team and being the leader of a team. And sometimes, it sucks that it's that way because you wish that you can just give a list and say, this is what you're supposed to do. But, they're watching what you're doing. They're watching your posts. They're watching where you are on the Success Club leaderboard, on the Success Club tracker, all those things. They may not judge you on it, but they're certainly watching it. So that's just something to keep in mind and something that keeps me in check as a leader. I'm not always the top Success Club earner or anything like that by any means, but I'm certainly trying. I'm certainly out there inviting and doing those daily activities every single day because I can't ask anyone to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. So that's what I have for you guys. So I hope that gives you some ideas. I just want you, to remember that time ratio. Make sure you're not getting into management mode with your team. And you have to continue to invite both for challenge groups and for the business activity. Don't neglect the business activity because it's scary to you. Don't neglect the business activity or the business track or business opportunity because you feel awkward or icky. You probably felt awkward posting about challenge groups in the beginning too. But you've got to do it. You have to let people know that there is something for them to do. There is something for them to join, and they don't have to, you're not just a special person because you're a coach. They can be one too. So, you have to continue to do that on a regular basis. And just like your challenge group posts probably got crickets when you first started posting about it, your business posts are probably going to be the same way, but you have to continue to do it. Maybe just set a goal. I'm going to do 3 business posts a week. And just stick to that and continue to do it, whether you get 0 likes or 2 likes or 5 likes. And I have even, if I make a post and it's kind of, if I feel a little nervous about it, I'll even go in the group, into our team page and say hey guys, I just made this post. It was a little outside of my comfort zone. I would really love for you guys to go and show some love on it. And it's you always kind of feel a little better once you have a couple likes and a couple comments, if you're putting yourself out there. So, don't hesitate to put that in the team page and just kind of ask for people to check it out. And it's also a great way to ask for feedback too. So does anybody have any questions, comments, anything?
So how much is constant contact? I mean, I know Shalene Johnson always has something to say about email and how important that is because Facebook can delete you whenever they feel like it with no fair warning. Just in case y'all didn't know that, they have the legal right to do that. So how much is that one? Because, I mean, I know MailChimp is free up to a certain point, and what's the other one?
Oh, Aweber.
Aweber. That one's not free. But
well, here's what I found. I was originally signed up with MailChimp, but then they changed their service, their service agreement or whatever to not do anything that's relating to network marketing. So if you are sending out newsletters or email campaigns or anything like that, that has to do with a business, a multi-level marketing business, then you get the boot. So that one is no good.
I've heard that too, except that the way that we get our contacts is legal.
Mm-hmm.
They mainly kick out the people who just fish.
Oh, well, they wouldn't. I spent a whole bunch of time creating this thing for Police Wives Academy. It doesn't even bring up any Beachbody products, and it was a no-go. So,
that's awesome. Okay.
With Aweber, you actually have to people have to opt in. You can't just upload your contact list and they're in your list. You have to upload it and then they send out hey, do you want to join Jen's mailing list? Click yes. And then, so it's an extra hoop people have to jump through, and those usually go into junk mail anyways. So I didn't like that aspect of Aweber. With Constant Contact, I believe it was $25 maybe. But then of course they sold me on the upgraded version because they created like a custom template email. Like the email that you guys get, it corresponds with the what my website looks like. They like created a custom email template for me based on that and just some other extra perks that you get. So, and I pay $45. But I think they have a free one and then a $20-ish one and then the $45. I think that's how it goes.
I can also speak a little on Constant Contact. I got started with it as well, just with the initial.
Mm-hmm.
The nice thing I like about it is they call you and they'll actually help you set it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not, as far as adding your contacts and they'll make you an initial like template for your initial email. And then they have people that work with you. Mm-hmm. So I started with the $20 version and then I upgraded. I think it's $25 now a month.
Yeah, it's like you get a constant contact coach.
Yeah.
Like contacting you like pretty much right away after you sign up for the free trial and say like, oh, I just wanted to make sure you knew how to use the website and blah, blah, blah. And then, of course their job is to upsell you to the more, but they don't like hard sell. They just kind of find out what your needs are and say like, well, I think this would be great. This package would be great for you type thing. So it wasn't anything icky. It was super helpful.
And it's easy to use, which is my biggest thing because I don't have a lot of time to mess around with it. And then also I'm just not real techie. So for me, it's very user friendly.
Yeah, I agree. Cause I had a hard time with MailChimp when I created my first email to go out to my Police Wives Academy thing. It took me a long time to put it together. But then my first email I did on Constant Contact, it took me like 20 minutes, maybe if that. It was super easy. Yeah. Alicia, is that what you use to like track people? Like,
I haven't like really dug into it to find all the different areas that I could use it for. So far, I've just created like a monthly newsletter with it, but I've added all my contacts into it.
Okay.
And I have like a coach, like a separate coach, like email account, and then I have a customer's email account. So you can choose, if you want to just send out like a coach email, or if you want to do it to both groups, you can do that, or just to your customers. So I mean, you can kind of, make it however you need to use it.
Yeah, and that's been so helpful for me because like I've set up different like contact groups. So I have one that's just coaches, and that's when I send out the coach email. And then I have one that's just like police wives that are in my marriage challenge. Like, so those are kind of my people that are, I'm building relationships with. And then I have people I did one for people that were in Coach Basics. Just so you can like set up a lot of different things. And I think all that stuff is unlimited, which was great. Lori says that she used TeamZ. It's $30 a month, but a lot of work. Yeah. I don't know. Like I've heard both actually. Like, I've heard some other people like in Healthy for Life that said it seemed like it was an extra step kind of, to use it and to maintain it. I've used Automatic CEO. I like that one too, but that one doesn't like schedule follow-ups or anything. So right now, see, I'm guilty of not having a super great system for that. I just kind of use the Facebook Messenger route of like, who was I just recently talking to about the academy? I need to do some follow-ups, and that's not good either. But I mean, it has worked obviously so far, but I definitely, want to get to a better system that is better than that. Anyone else have any questions, comments, anything about recruiting or Country Heat or stuff in general? All right. Well, we have a couple exciting team calls coming up. We actually have we have 3 guest speakers coming up actually. One of them is Nicole Kelly from Fit Diva Empire. She will be speaking on the call on the 27th, I believe. And we have 2 male coaches that are going to be speaking, 2 separate calls, which will be something different. One of them is Sean Bourguignon, or something like that. He's one of Scotty's Diamond coaches, and he lives in Canada. I believe he's 2-star. So he will be speaking. And then Stephen Cartagena, he is one of he was Lindsay Matway's very first Diamond coach. He'll be speaking on our call in July. So we have a couple, different guest speakers lined up. So I'm excited about that. And I'm also excited about the call with Joe for those of you that are committing to the 21-day fixed business group. So lots of cool things to look forward to. Summit's around the corner. Make sure you get your orders in for the team shirts if you want that. Got to put that in by the 17th. So get those in. And I guess that's it. So thanks, guys, for getting on. I'll post the recording shortly, and I hope you have a good night.